I mean, it's Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Panthers at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce.
Good morning. Happy Thursday morning to you all. I guarantee you're having a better Thursday than the two people that you see on the screen right now. So Spoon said hello, saying he got his ass kicked with a whole bunch of CLV. I got my ass kicked. I might get lucky in San Francisco and get it over 7.5 and go to like 2-5 on the day. So lucky me. Spoon, obviously you had a rough one as well. How about those Reds, huh? Hell of a baseball team. Jesus.
Wow. That overtime or extra innings loss there was just
You
rough.
love to see it. Still holding the game in the wild card. Thanks to that.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm pissed off because both those teams should have won, and that meant
Well,
the
that
Cubs
one's not
would've
over
lost.
yet. Arizona's not done yet. In fact, I'll put that on the screen so people can follow it.
Yo, if the Dodgers have Roki Sasaki coming out there and looking like he did in Japan, tonight it's over, most likely. So
Oh, shit.
it
The
is what
Diamondbacks actually have runners on second and third right now.
say it ain't so, Joe. Anywho, I know there's a lot of college football talk on this show tonight with some really good guests. I'm actually looking forward to that myself. Maybe I'll learn something. But we do have a board. There's a whole bunch of games that like don't have lines that maybe they're popping up, but I'm probably just not going to have an opinion on. I would assume Spoon feels close to the same way, but we'll find out when we get there. First game on the board. Braxton Ashcraft and the Pittsburgh Pirates on the road in Cincinnati versus Nick Lodolo and the ever so embarrassing Reds. I made a donkey parlay with the Reds and the Yankees. I don't think either team lose. It was at plus 115 sauce. You don't have to put it up. Just put the Reds up for me. This is more of me like Nick Lodolo at home versus one of the worst teams in baseball on the road. I get that they've won the last two games. Probably shouldn't have won last night or tonight whenever you're watching this video. The Reds had so many chances, out-hit them, everything that you would ask for, just couldn't get a hit when it mattered. But again, I do think that they're 165 for a reason. But yeah, I'm not really saying much, but I do think the Reds win. Spoon?
I would agree with the take that the Reds win. I think minus 165 is very well priced. I don't think there's a huge edge on taking the Reds money line or the Reds even -1 at this point. Bullpen's pretty taxed after that extra innings game today. I'm not a huge fan of either of these offenses right now. I think Braxton Ashcraft can go out there for 3 or 4 innings, kind of shut this Reds team out. And Lodolo, while he is coming off 2 starts where he gave up 4 earned runs and 5 earned runs, those were versus much better offenses in the Chicago Cubs and the Oakland Athletics. And I think he bounces back, has a really good game here. I'm looking at this under 8.5 minus 115 that's available right now. I think it's a pretty good price on it. I think this game should probably close at 8. These offenses are bottom of the barrel, even with extra innings. They couldn't get over this total today. So I'm going to be on the board for under 8.5 minus 115. I'm probably going to bet it.
We got the
Hell
Hat
yeah.
Man. The Hat Man
I
is in
saw
the
that. That
comments.
was awesome.
He said he's faded the I'm guessing he's talking about he bet the Athletics for tomorrow because they play Houston. I don't even think there's a line open, so I don't know how he pulled that off, actually.
Yeah.
He figured when there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, he's figured it out. I'll never
Got an
forget.
Asian book open.
Remember, Kyle, do you remember like either 2 or 3 seasons ago when we had that guy pop in about when he would tell us that Miles Michaelis would
Oh
pitch
my
well?
God. How did he know? Was that like Michaelis's brother?
Dude, Spoon, there's this guy that would just, and he doesn't do it anymore, just
I
randomly
haven't
would
seen him
pop
in a
up,
couple years.
randomly would pop up and be like, this is a Michaelis start, da-da-da-da-da. And every single time, Michaelis would go out
I'm
there.
not
It
excited.
was
He
just crazy.
nailed like 13 Michaelis starts in a row. He's like,
It was
no, not
crazy.
today.
I'll
Don't bet him
never
today.
forget that guy.
Minus
That's why-
110, it was Miles Michaelis himself.
Yeah,
That would've been
dead ass. It might have been. That's how on he was. It might have
It
been
was
Michaelis.
Anywho, next game on the board, one of my mini losses today. I had Baltimore. I thought it was a great spot for them. They laid an egg. Drew Rasmussen on the mound for the Rays tomorrow. Cade Povich on the mound for Baltimore. I really want to play Baltimore again, as sick as it is. I'll go through it in a second, but what are your thoughts, Spoon?
I have a hard time getting to Baltimore in any start where Cade Povich goes out there. Honestly, I lean more Rays. There's a minus 125 on the board here. Drew Rasmussen is in the part of the season, though, where he's clearly going to be innings limitations setting in. Only went 3 innings in that last start versus Boston. Trying to read into what they're going to do for some of the innings coverage. At some point, I thought they might just kind of tag team him with Joe Boyle to go through 7 innings, but he pitched pretty recently. So I don't know if that's still the plan to put him in the second part of this game. And with such a huge chunk out of it, I can't quite get there with Tampa Bay, but that's my big lean in this game. Their offense definitely is questionable. Some of their bats are kind of leaving the lineup. Anytime they start to fall out of the game, they just pull everybody out because they don't want anybody to get injured. They're just thinking about next year at this point in the season. So I don't think Rasmussen goes out there and gives us 5 innings of good baseball. It's probably 3-4 innings tops. And then that brings in the Tampa Bay bullpen. It allows them to pick their matchups with this Orioles team. And I think they have enough relievers in there to get through this. This is Tampa Bay or nothing for me. Cade Povich could give up 4 earned runs before the 3rd inning is over. And Tampa Bay gets to pick their spots from there. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the Cade Povich part. I just think that he hasn't been pitching that terrible. I mean, New York, Pittsburgh, San Diego, Boston, Houston twice, Philadelphia. I mean, it's not the who's who of everybody, but I mean, most of those teams besides the Pirates have been playing for something and been playing decent for the most part. So I do think this is a significant step down in class for him, and he will be at home, which does always help. But I'm just really not sold on this Rays team versus left-handed pitching. I know their numbers look decent over the last month or so, but like Spoon said, if you have Rasmussen, I just don't think the offense is going to matter when you have Rasmussen. I think you're going to see another 3 or 4 innings with him, and then I think it's going to be a huge question on who you're going to see throughout the rest of this game. And like Spoon said, they've seen this already once this series when Baltimore got up in the first game and they took out Caminero and Lowe. So I think at plus 110, I think in a coin flip game, you take the home team at the plus money. I don't think I end up betting it, but I do really lean Baltimore. Next game on the board.
Oh, why can't I? All right, I'll just go to the next one. You said Baltimore?
Yeah.
For some reason, your graphics are out of order.
Twins on the road in Texas. Joe Ryan, Tyler Mahle. I don't think there's a line. Huge pass. I guess lean Texas just because I would assume that Joe Ryan's not going to go super deep. And Mahle's still working his way back, trying to be healthy. I know it means for nothing, but I think he wants to be right.
I don't even think
that,
yeah, I'm seeing Bailey Ober now.
That's what I was just about to say. I don't think Joe Ryan pitches in this game, and I think that's why there's not lines up yet. There's such a huge difference between Bailey Ober and Joe Ryan. They can't risk putting that up and somebody hitting the right side of the pitching guess there.
Speaking of uncertain pitchers, this next one, I don't know if it's Framber either.
Yeah, I think a lot of these are going to be question marks, so I wouldn't be. So I don't think it's going to be Framber.
Before we move on from this, if Framber's in pitching versus the Athletics, are we hammering the Athletics tomorrow? I mean, Framber clearly looks broken. Well, his Houston offense looks also broken.
If it's not Framber, I don't really care who it is. I would probably play on Oakland or Sacramento as long as the price is decent, to be honest with you. I think that Houston's in a tailspin right now. They're ready to go home.
If we get that minus 130 Framber Houston Astros, I'm going to be all over the A's side of that.
And I am wearing a Houston Rockets hat, as the hat man pointed out. So if you're a believer in the hat magic, you take the Athletics here.
Next game on the board, tie ball game in Arizona. The Billionaire Boys Club comes through again. How about them Dodgers?
How do they blow every single game?
Yo, this is gorgeous. Absolutely amazing. Dodgers on the road in Arizona. This game is still going on. It's a tie ball game in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs and a runner on. Yamamoto versus Zach Gallen. I've already bet the Dodgers in the first 5. I paid some juice at 150. Don't care. Continuing to back my guy Yamamoto. I continue.
Why not
to
the full game?
Well, I think we've made that very clear over the last couple of weeks with this Dodgers team. Regardless of how Arizona's bullpen is, I think that both of these units are just absolutely pissed. Zach Gallen has been pitching really well. I will give him that. This isn't a direct fade of him. This is more of me backing Yamamoto, who's had a lot of success against this Arizona lineup in his career. And Zach Gallen really hasn't had a lot of success against the Dodgers in his career. He did just pitch well against them a little bit like 3 weeks ago or whatever in LA, but his 2 home starts against them haven't been pretty over the last couple of years. So again, and this is more of a bet on Yamamoto continuing to go out there in 7 innings of 1 hit ball and 10 strikeouts almost every time he goes out there now. So when he's right, I truly think that he is one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball. I think he's clearly right now. Dodgers first 5 on the money line. Spoon, your thoughts?
I got to echo a lot of that. I'm really close to moving on the Dodgers. I looked at the first 5 -0.5. Minus 150 is a little more juice than I'm really comfortable paying, but you do have that push opportunity, so it's really nice there. You can build a -1 with the Dodgers right now in the -115 range. Really close to that. Obviously, you have to factor in backing the Dodgers bullpen, but I think I can swallow it knowing that Arizona's bullpen is on the other side. Zach Gallen pitched really well versus this Dodgers team in his last outing. He's seen this team a bunch of times in his career. I think the Dodgers bats are a level above where Arizona's bats are right now. It's probably pretty fairly priced on this money line. Arizona still has a lot to play for. If they find a way to get this win tonight, they're still in this playoff picture. There are reasons where I could get to Arizona or think they're somewhat live, but this is just a Dodgers spot for me, and I think they find a way to win this game here tomorrow.
Just a bet out.
Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, Steve's in the comments saying, just wanted to pop into the live chat and say something I haven't said since I was 15 years old. The Mariners are AL West division champs. They haven't won the division since Jabo was, what is Steve, 65 years old?
Well, I think he's like 63, so I don't want to. When you get
in all seriousness, how old? How long has it been?
No, I think I really think it's been like 20 something years. Jabo, send us a message. It's been a long time. I think Jabo's our age, so it might even be 25 plus years.
How have they not won the division once?
So in the early 2000s, they had that really good year where they had like 100.
Yeah, 2001. Okay, yeah. So they haven't won it since 2001. I would assume.
Was that the Ken Griffey Jr. or was he already gone?
Ichiro.
That was like King. That was like Ichiro, King Felix, Brett Boone.
The team sucked.
Yeah. Well, they did. They lost. So they did.
Kind of like one of those regular season Brewers teams.
Yeah, Edgar Martinez. Was he still on that team? I don't think so. Maybe. Whatever. Anyway, another one of my losses today. The Fish got blown out. Phillies hit 8 home runs today, I think it was. Goodness gracious. And really quickly on the Mariners, shout out Cal Raleigh. 60 home runs this year. That's just insane, especially from the catcher position. That's awesome. So anyway, Jansen Junk on the mound for the Fish. Walker Buehler on the mound for Philadelphia. I really want to bet the Fish again. I don't think I can because I don't really trust Jansen Junk like that. But if I will say something about Jansen Junk, not that he's been particularly good or anything like that, but on the road at Texas, a team that was vying for a playoff spot. Detroit, I know that they suck, but we're a first place team. Washington got destroyed. That's still bad. But Toronto, on the road at Boston, on the road at Cleveland, Houston, the Yankees, on the road at Milwaukee. He has been facing upper echelon teams of Major League Baseball every time he goes out there. So I just wanted to give him a little bit of credit. It wasn't just like a blind fade of Walker Buehler. He's actually looked decent as a Philly so far in a couple limited appearances. I think 1 start and 1 or 2 relief appearances. I don't think you're going to see a whole bunch of Walker Buehler tomorrow. I think it's going to be 2 or 3 innings most likely. And then we're going to get multiple shots at that Phillies bullpen. And as we know, this Marlins team has been continuing to produce, but I do worry a little bit that the air's kind of been let out of the balloon. They were on that such a good run and then just got destroyed today. So it's not, I don't know if I can actually get there, but it's a pretty decent lean to the Fish. Spoon, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think a change of location can be a really big boost for a pitcher, especially a proven guy like Walker Buehler. It's not really a surprise the Phillies picked him up. He pitched 7 innings, 1 earned run against this Phillies lineup. and that was one of his best starts of the season. So they saw something in that game that they really liked in him. 9 innings pitched so far for him versus Arizona. Kansas City's only given up 1 earned run. I like what I'm seeing from Walker Buehler, but throughout the course of the season, this guy's looked very pedestrian. Any decent lineup's been able to really get to him. Kind of feels like that Philadelphia start was a flash in the pan, and this Miami lineup is definitely in the class of decent lineups. So I think they find ways to get a few runs off Walker Buehler. I also don't think he's long for this game. I think we see a good amount of bullpen arms. I'm really close to moving on this over 9. There's a bad line on Bally right now, -107 for the over 9. I think that's where I got to be. It's a really good price. I think this line closes 9.5. With these pitchers, these bullpens, and the lineups, it's a recipe for runs. The Philadelphia Phillies got it themselves today. I don't see why we can't go over the total again tomorrow.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. I just couldn't get to the 9, but I definitely can't argue it. Didn't Judge hit 2 home runs today or just 1? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't keep up on my Judge home runs, to be honest with you.
Me neither. Only if S. Dot was here. The only reason I asked is because Javo was in the comments saying that if Cal doesn't win the MVP, a catcher never will. And I tend to agree with you because I don't think he's going to win this year either. I think Judge continues to do what he does, but I do think that Cal should be the MVP because if you take Cal,
such a more important position to be playing catcher.
It's not even. I'm not even trying to take shots at Judge. He's like one of the best players we've ever seen. Like I'm really not, and I'll take shots at him when I can. Come in October, we all know what's coming then. But I mean, Cal being behind the plate. Yeah, but Kyle being behind the plate every single day, hitting it from a switch hitter, I don't know. It's a little bit more impressive to me personally, but we'll see. So we don't know the starter for Detroit. I was actually just reading up on this game, and AJ Hinch said that they're going to decide overnight. There's going to be a long night at the office or in the hotel room. It's exactly what he said to figure out who's going to pitch for them tomorrow. I mean, as long as Cleveland. Give me Cleveland under 130 or 130 or better, and I'll be on Cleveland. I just don't want to lay a huge price. I know today we got them at like 118, and they got bet up to all the way to 140. Again, as long as we get them under 130, I'm going to continue to bet Cleveland. I'm just not going to pay super heavy juice for it. Spoon, really quickly.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Parker Messick. I think this kid is going to be long for the major leagues. He's going to be pitching for Cleveland, and then whoever gives him a big contract for a long time. So I think he can go out and pitch well versus this Detroit lineup, who's really been struggling on the road. 25th in baseball over the last 30 days versus left-handed pitching, who they used to dominate the last 14 days. They're 22nd in baseball. Little cause for concern. Messick really relies on that changeup, and that's one of those like touch feel pitches. So you can come out there in the first inning and not have a feel for that and just leave it over there. And some of these bats in this Detroit lineup can really make him pay for that. But I just think this Cleveland team's playing so much better. I don't see any reason to get off them. Like you said, if we can get them that -125 range, I'd like it. It's not a play for me past probably 130, 135. But I don't think there's any way Detroit is the favorite here. If they are, I'm immediately betting Cleveland.
I feel like Cleveland's been consistently underpriced for weeks.
They have been. Finally they took some money today and the line moved 20 cents or 25 cents or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, and yes, Southpaw, I do be reading the papers. You know this, man.
I do be reading the papers.
White Sox on the road in Yankee Stadium. Davis Martin, Carlos Rodon on the mound for the Spanks. I laid it with the Yankees -1.5, -130. I continue to think their offense I don't have to worry about. Rodon's been actually fantastic this year, going essentially 6 or 7 innings of 1 or 2 run baseball every time he goes out there. I think the Yankees kill the White Sox again. What are your thoughts, Spoon?
There's no way I can just play the Yankees. I mean, from a price perspective, I expect this line to take White Sox money overnight, and I think you might get the Yankees a little bit cheaper. You guys make jokes about the donkey parlay. This is the perfect team to do it with tomorrow.
I already got one in it.
Yeah, I can't fathom a way where the Yankees blow this game. Maybe put them together with Seattle. Sports Science Jacob and I were talking. I think he's already done that. I think this is just a spot where I'd have to be on the over. You have the New York Yankees offense. I think they can get 5 runs off Davis Martin. bring in these bullpens, give up a couple more runs. It's the only way I could get on it from a handicapping perspective with the prices where they're at.
And this is still a huge game for the Yankees, guys. I mean, especially with the way that Toronto's playing right now. They can, there's a lot to be said in that division right now. So, anywho, next game on the board, Red Sox on the road in Toronto. Brian Bayo, I think it's Shane Bieber, correct?
So Varland is going to be the opener, is what I see.
They're doing the same thing they did last time, right?
But I do think Bieber is going to pitch the majority of the innings. But the other possibility here is Eric Lauer.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like him. I know that Berrios went tonight too, but I think they're going to throw the kitchen sink at this Boston team. And I personally think it's going to blow up in their face. But what are your thoughts?
So this line's opened up across the board, and there was a ton of movement. This originally opened up at minus 162 Toronto. And at that point, it made sense to me that Bieber would be going. But now this 138 price that we're seeing now, they took it off the board for a while. That's almost a 25-cent drop that quickly. That makes me feel like they assume there's a pitching change. So I don't think it's going to be Bieber just off the price alone. I feel like this would be that 162 price if they were ever going to lay it with anybody. So it's kind of keeping me off wanting to go to Toronto, because if it's Toronto willing to throw their entire kitchen sink at Boston to get one win here when they're battling with the Yankees for the division, and the Yankees have a free win versus the White Sox. And this Toronto team has Tampa Bay on deck, a team that's kind of packing it in for the season at home. So that's a series I think they expect to win. It really comes down to starting pitching here for me. If you tell me Bieber's in here, I probably can just lay the -1 or pay the juice on the money line. As it is right now, I think if Bieber gets announced, this price is going to go up. Kind of makes me want to get a Toronto ticket right now. It's a tough game to cap with those questions, but Brian Bayo on the other side had a phenomenal season, but down the stretch, he's had a few games versus good lineups where he's given it up, and I think this could probably be one of those games. There's only 3 games left in Toronto for the year. I don't see rain precipitation in the forecast, so I think they're going to try to get this roof open. So I think there's going to be a way to get runs. I think Toronto's going to be doing the majority of the lifting. Toronto money line for me.
I've already bet Boston at plus 125. You mentioned Bayo versus good lineups, and I agree. They've been playing well. Is Toronto a good lineup right now? I mean, they went lifeless again tonight. They were lifeless again on Tuesday. They put up 8 on Sunday randomly, but before that, 1, 1, 0, 1, 6, 2. I mean, they haven't hit in a week and a half. So for me, I think I have a huge starting and pitching advantage. I know that Bieber's been decent, but I still only think you're going to see flashes of him. I think I agree with Spoon. I think you're going to see anything that you can possibly see from Toronto. Obviously, we saw Berrios come into the game tonight. So you might see anything from them, but Bayo's pitched really well against this Toronto team in his career. I'm not really worried about him. I think that he can go out there and pitch well. The Athletics, the Yankees on the road at Arizona, Cleveland on the road at Baltimore, on the road at the Yankees. Those are his last 6 starts. I think that the way that this iteration of this Blue Jays lineup isn't that much of a step in the class at all, if maybe even a step down in class at the way that they're hitting right now. So, like I said, I've already bet the Red Sox, and if the line moves against me, I'll probably rebet them, to be dead honest with you. I think this Red Sox team is rolling right now, and Toronto is spiraling personally. Next game on the board. Mets on the road in Chicago. Nolan McLean on the mound for the Mets. Shota on the mound for the Cubs. Go ahead, Spoon. I played the Mets team total over 3.5, and I hate it. But you can go first.
Yeah, I want to bet the Mets money line. Was on it today. It failed miserably. Looking at Imanaga, where he's at recently, 7 of his last 10 games, he's given up 3 earned runs or more. And a lot of those games have been at Wrigley with the wind blowing in, just like it's going to be doing tomorrow. Fly ball pitcher obviously gets the benefit of having that wind blow in. It helps him with all of his pitches. But Nolan McLean's gone out there and just dominated since his first start. Hasn't had a bad start in the major leagues yet. He's faced good lineups: Philadelphia, Detroit when they were swinging the bat better, Seattle. I don't see any reason he can't pitch well to this Cubs lineup tomorrow. I think everybody's going to want to be on the Cubs after seeing him put up all those runs today. The lineup finally fixed, that kind of thing. But I mean, similar to the Yankees, this is one of those lineups that either shows up, puts up a bunch of runs, or looks like they can't score anything. And I think versus Nolan McLean, they're going to look like they can't score anything. So this is New York Mets money line for me.
Yeah, I agree. The Mets haven't been as great over the last couple weeks versus left-handed pitching, but that doesn't really do much for me. They destroyed Shoto last year in 10. I mean, he pitched well against them in Queens, but he gave up 10 runs against them when he pitched against them in Chicago. I just wanted to mention that, but I just wanted to that point, Shota's been like average lately. I mean, over his last 5 starts, I mean, he's going 5, 6, 7 innings, but he's also giving up 3 runs every time it goes out there. He gave up 4 to Cincinnati. So that was on the road, but I mean, Tampa Bay was a home start. Atlanta was a home start. So I think that this is also a huge step up in class with the way that this Mets offense has been. So I think Mets team total over 3.5. I just don't really want to deal with the Mets pitching with another rookie against this Cubs team. I don't think that this Cubs team is back, but in Wrigley Field, it's just not a place at -110 I want to get involved with that bullpen. But I do think the Mets win.
Damn right they do. Big game.
Man, the Dodgers are just something. They go Snell, Sasaki, Vesia, Hernandez, Kershaw in the 9th.
And
Kershaw's pitching right now.
Kershaw's in the 9th.
Well, it's done. It's going to extras. He got the job done.
So I don't know who they're bringing in the 10th, but Davis dealing in there in that Dodgers clubhouse in Arizona.
Is Kershaw going to be the closer for the playoffs? Did they just figure out how to fix it?
They said he was supposed to start in Seattle. So I don't know. I obviously I've been trying to tell you guys for months now this Dodgers bullpen is an issue.
We've heard.
So I'm just telling you guys I don't know what they're going to do, but this is quite interesting. Very interesting. There's like 5 guys in that bullpen you can't put out there in a decent spot in this game or any game. But anyway, Kansas City on the road in Disneyland, Lorenzen and Ferris. I feel like this is a coin flip and it's priced like a coin flip. I think Kansas City is the better team, so you can put Kansas City up for me, but I will not be betting this game, Spoon.
Yeah, I'm going to bet this game. Kansas City, you just said you think it's a coin flip. I think it's a very weighted coin flip. I look at these two teams. I think this Angels team is really subpar at this point in the season. They don't show me anything. Obviously, they got the win versus Kansas City tonight. Maybe that helps out with the price, but I don't see anybody coming to back the Angels tomorrow. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think Kansas City closes well. The only thing that worries me about this is I think this probably should have opened up at -120, plus 100 kind of pricing, and it's opening up a pick 'em. So that kind of induces Kansas City money to get on it. I think at this price, obviously, I want to be on Kansas City. So given to me, they have the better lineup. I think Lorenzen's better than Ferris at this point, and the bullpen is better, in my opinion, as well for Kansas City outside of Jansen.
Yeah, the only thing that really threw me is the 9.5 total, which that's why I said like a coin flip, because clearly
it's Mitch Ferris, dude.
Yeah, and Michael Lorenzen, who's given up 6 on the.
What are you expecting it to be? 12?
I'm just saying that's my point to the coin flip, is that I don't want to deal with it, because whoever hits a home run, if it's a 2 or 3 run shot compared to a solo, that might be the difference in the game. I'm not trying to get worried about some BS in Disneyland on freaking September 25th. Get out of here. Next game.
How close is Disneyland to that place?
4 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I drive. Yeah, that's why we always usually go to a game when we're there, because it's just right down the road, like literally. Yeah. Colorado, Seattle. Seattle's going to be a heavy favorite. You guys can start talking about football at this point, unless Spoon, you want to add anything.
Yeah, Seattle's going to be a heavy favorite. I don't see any reason to try to back Blaylock versus the Seattle lineup right now. If you're going to bet anything in it, just bet that Cal Raleigh 61st home run.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, that might be a fun one. So anyway, Sauce, you can go ahead and take it away. I appreciate you guys.
All right.
Good luck tomorrow, guys.
All right, let's switch it over. Let's start talking real sports. So, Jimmy the Bag is with me. Troy is not here, and this man has earned a victory lap after last week, man. The Lions. It's not just that he had the Lions, right? Because a lot of people had the Lions. He gave that shit out confidently. He was like, this is one of my favorite plays on the board. He got the +6, so he got the best of the number and everything. That was well done. He's earned a victory lap, and he's not even here to take it.
And he is upset that he's not here to take it. He's been loving rocking with the Sauce Network. But it's the most profitable market tell in all of football, whether it be professional, college, or Canadian. Blowing through the number 6 is what Troy calls the cash cow. And shout out to all the Sauce Network cappers in the chat. But Troy's been calling it the cash cow. It's every single game so far this year. And look, I know it's just getting started, but every single game so far this year that's blown through the number 6 has cashed on the spread. And most of them have cashed on the money line. Detroit Lions, you know, they're a slam dunk. And if it blows through the 6 and the public's on the other side, it's a smash spot, you know, absolute smash spot.
The Lions were the better team start to finish. It wasn't even like, oh, things shook out the wrong way at the end. No, the Lions were the better team for basically the entire game. That Lions defense is something to keep an eye on. I got the under in that Cleveland. That's not one we're talking about. I got a good number on that under. They were also, what I liked what the Lions were doing, obviously it was pissing me off because I had the over, but did you see they were running the ball and then just standing there waiting for the play clock? They were just grinding the clock out. They were holding on to the ball, not just that one long drive, but the whole game. They were just chewing the clock up. And I was like, dude, Dan Campbell came into this game with a plan.
Ooh. The line, you know, and it sets us up for both teams moving forward. And I can't wait to close the show on Ravens Chiefs. But for me, the Browns are a predictable football team. And right now, to cap them on the road is very tricky. On the home, it's a gift.
Yeah.
I hope they get destroyed on the road.
Yeah, well,
everyone starts questioning them. Then when they come back home and we hammer them.
They played good defense on the road against the Ravens. It's just they kept shooting themselves in the foot. They just played undisciplined football. Well, why don't we get into the games we're actually going to talk about? So the list Jim sent over. First one on the list. I had to double check the email. Yes, it does in fact say Saints Bills. So I'll throw some stuff out there. I mean, so if it's since 2001, well, it's now down to 15.5. So originally when I looked at it, it was 17. Underdogs of 17 or more points have been profitable, but actually in recent years, favorites have been profitable, like the last 13 or 14 of them. But look, if you're trying to find a reason to take the big number with the Saints, because obviously you look at the big number, you'd love to take it. Saints offensive line is going to be healthy this week. I know I said that last week. I thought they were. They were both practicing. Neither played. Penning and Fuaga, neither of those guys played. Penning's not even on the injury report, so he's going to play. And then Fuaga, we'll see. He's listed as questionable. I mean, the Bills' pass rush has been insane, though. I don't know if you really could expect them to win the battles, but there is something, maybe a look-ahead spot with the New England on deck. I'm grasping at straws here. I'm trying to find something. You know what? For the game, so I have a pick under my face, because the Saints have run such a fast pace. They're actually first in the NFL in seconds between snap. So they've been running a fast pace, and because they're obviously most likely going to be playing from behind, I would say over, just because the Saints run such a fast pace and they'll be throwing a lot playing from behind. But I know nothing. I'm all ears.
The first angle in this game that is a smash, but it's tricky how to include, is the fact that James Cook, if he scores a rushing touchdown, he breaks the Buffalo Bills franchise record for rushing TDs in regular seasons, rushing TD streak right now. And that means a lot to Josh Allen. He loves James Cook, and he wants James Cook in the record book. So this touchdown prop for James Cook is going to cash. And I'm not generally somebody who attacks that market, but here, listening to Josh Allen talk about his friend, James Cook, I understood immediately that, Cook is going to cash this. Right now, Cook is tied with Cookie Gilchrist and O.J. Simpson for 7 straight regular season games with a rushing touchdown. So he's going to cash this rushing touchdown prop. So the first bet I made, and my man, sports scientist Jacob in the chat, he rocked with me on this, is I cheated Buffalo down to -6.5, and I took James Cook anytime touchdown. I put that together at -135. The James Cook anytime touchdown can be something that you add to your favorite bet on the board or add to a bet that you want to attack. Josh Allen has said that he wants his friend's name in the record book, and when he says something like that, it happens.
Yeah.
That's the first spot.
And you know that there's going to be opportunities for Josh Allen to put the ball in the Cook's hands in this game against the Saints defense. I will say the last week's game against the Seahawks, the final score is a little deceiving. The Saints, I don't know if you want to just take one game and just throw the whole bus at oh my God, why am I blanking on the coach's name? Cowboys OC. What the hell's his name? What the hell's his name? The Cowboys OC. That's the same coach. Why can't I?
We have Schottenheimer taking over. Brian Schottenheimer taking over in Dallas.
Kellen Moore. Oh my God! Why couldn't I think of that? I knew. I had his face in my head. I don't know if we want to take the whole bus and just throw it at Kellen Moore for one game, but I think the Saints had 10 penalties in the first half of that game. The special teams disarray. They had a punt blocked. I think they snapped the ball without a left tackle. Like the guy just came running in. So in the first half of that game, especially, it came off to me like really, really disorganized and poorly coached. I'm not familiar enough with the team. I'm not at the practices. I don't want to just throw the blame at the guy without knowing for sure. But that's what it looked like to me. It was like, this team is just not prepared for this game. That's what it looked like. So I'll say over or pass. This next one.
I bet. Let me just finish off. I bet the under. I attacked the under.
Oh, you're on the under?
I am on the under. I bet the under at 48. It's now moved to 47.5. We know that the ton of public cash is coming in on the over, and it's dropping right now. The Saints allowing, so that's the most points that they allowed in a half since 1973. They were just completely embarrassed on the road. And for the Bills, what we know about Josh Allen is he just wants his team to leave healthy. He knows they're going to smash and grab the Saints. I expect 8-minute drives. I went for the full game under instead of the first half under, because if it's 28-7 at halftime, I'm going to live bet the under for sure. And they're just going to put it in slow motion, 8-minute drives, not care, and go home happy. I think the under is the spot. I think it's a boring football game with the Bills' eyes on the Patriots the following week. So I've doubled up on the game. I'm on the under 48, and then the Buffalo alternate line -6.5 with Cook anytime touchdown.
My bad. I thought you were finished. I didn't mean to skip on you. But yeah, I mean, I would imagine you're going to see a conservative game plan from the Bills. I have no interest in that one. This one, though, I'm interested where you're going with. This is not one of the bets I have. It's one of the bets I'm considering, though. Where are you going with it?
Panthers, Patriots. This one is heaven for me. The Patriots here, they haven't had a game with 5 turnovers since 2008, the year Brady went down with an injury, right at the beginning of the season. This is the whole sell high, buy low scenario. The look ahead was 5.5. This opened at 4. And immediately the Sharps moved it to 5.5 again. Why would it go right back to 5.5 after watching Carolina win 30-0 over Atlanta? It's because now we get Carolina back on the road. We have an extremely angry Patriots coach in Vrabel, losing his mind over more fumbles, more mistakes, bad play. I think I moved on the double result at +105, and I want to invest more in the Patriots. This is buying low on the Patriots, selling high on the Panthers. This is one of the best bets on the board. We talked about last week that the Chiefs double result was the best play on the board. Now, Butker missed a 40-yard field goal, and then we needed to be kind of fortunate to cash it. But I see this Patriots double result as a similar scenario. You're going to hear people on the Panthers nonstop. People believe what they just saw. A 30-0 victory over the Falcons. The Falcons were an absolute travesty. And that's what we take advantage of in NFL. Nobody wants the Patriots as this big of a favorite. Nobody. Why did it immediately move from 4 back to the 5.5 look ahead? It's because the public is going to believe what they saw, believe the Patriots are trash, believe the Panthers are coming up. We get the Panthers back on the road, and the Panthers lose badly.
I could not agree more. Agree with every single word. Patriots for me. And just to add on to what you were saying, I have serious concerns with Carolina. I do not give a shit that they won 30-0 last week. They didn't even look good. They averaged 4.4 yards per play. That was the Falcons losing a game more than it was the Panthers winning one. But yeah, coming off a 30-0 win, what a beautiful time to sell high on Carolina. And I know New England runs some man coverage, and you could say, hey, Bryce Young's career has actually been pretty good against man coverage. With what receivers, man? Leggett didn't practice. He's listed as questionable. McMillan didn't practice. He's listed as questionable. Coker's still on the IR. They're still missing 2 starters on the offensive line. The Patriots' run defense has been stout so far this year, so I doubt he's going to have run support for New England, pissed off coming off a loss. Carolina's not going to run the ball in this game. You're talking about Bryce Young going on the road to Foxborough with no run support, with injured receivers that he doesn't even have chemistry with. His wide receiver 1 in this game now I don't know if these 2 guys, Leggett and McMillan, aren't playing, but his wide receiver 1 in this game might be Renfro. Wasn't even on the NFL team a few weeks ago. This is just an ultimate sell high on Carolina. And I'm not sure if Christian Gonzalez is coming back. He's listed as questionable. He did participate in practice. We'll see. But I'm on this regardless. And yeah, I mean, on the other side, the Carolina can't stop the run. I mean, there's just on and on. Patriots, I agree with every single word you said. New England.
Yeah, I love the spot. And the more I hear a lot of people talking about Carolina, back in Carolina, and my hand starts sweating. I know it's going to be filled with cash here in a second. It's the simple thing, we're selling high and buying low, and it's a perfect scenario here with the Pats.
Yeah, agree. I'm going to add that one. Now this one, I'm all ears. I don't even have the 49ers. The entire team's just a big question mark. They keep figuring a way to get it done. Brock Purdy, he participated in practice. Who knows? I'm all ears because I got nothing.
This is taking advantage, again, of what we saw last week. We saw the Jaguars in a 17-10 victory at home over the Texans. The Texans can't score. They're very, very easy to defend. They have very little running attack. You can double Nico. They're easy to defend. We already watched once Jacksonville on the road, and they let Jake Browning do whatever he wanted, throw 3 interceptions, and still put up 31 points and beat them. Then you have the 49ers coming off a 16-15 home victory over the Cardinals. They lose Nick Bosa for the season. Michael Williams, I think he's going to be in the lineup. I need him in the lineup. They didn't have Juwan Jennings with the ankle injury. They're still without Ayuk and Kittle. They're a mess. Earlier in the year, they lost Burford and Barch. If you look at this total, it's just climbing. It's just climbing because the Jaguars are a Jekyll and Hyde team home and road, and the 49ers are going to be able to put up points. Brock Purdy will be starting in this game. I know that hasn't been announced yet, but the market is screaming it. I'm on the first half over 23.5, the full game over 47. With what we saw last week, how in the world is this total climbing and climbing and climbing? It's climbing because they know that Jacksonville's defense is very different from what we just saw. They also know that the 49ers offense is going to be capable of putting up points easily against this Jaguars defense. And then we have a Jaguars offense going up against a beaten and battered 49ers defense. So you put it all together, this has gone from 45 to 47. 45 was the look ahead, and then that's what it opened up on at Sunday night was 45. This is a big move to the 47. We saw a little bit of buyback, and it went right back to the 47. And I'm on the 49ers to take care of business at home. And it's a buy low spot on both offenses, but it's a buy low spot on the 49ers. Yes, they're 3-0, but do you hear anybody talking about them being 3-0?
No.
Everybody's talking about injuries, and they can handle this, and they can beat Jacksonville, and they can take care of business, and points will be scored. Everybody's staying away from this game with all of the question marks around it. 49er fans that follow this team every single day know that this is a spot to back them. The Jaguars are a fade on the road. I've tripled up on this game. First half over 23.5 plus 100. Full game over 47 at minus 110, and the Niners -3 at minus 109.
Yeah, I agree with over, and he's not wrong. It's moving straight upward everywhere as far as the total. Nothing but over money coming in so far. So, all right.
Yeah, it's a smash and grab.
Let's move on to the next game. I wonder if we're going to be in agreement. I did bet this game. I'm Rams all the way here. Are you with me?
I don't have to be. I've got the Rams are the only. There's two teams I got big, heavy futures on. The Rams are one of them. I do have the Colts over 7 wins. I wish I had more than that. I have the Rams over 9.5 wins. I have the Rams to win the NFC West. I have the Rams to win the NFC. I have the Rams to win the Super Bowl. I'm all in on the Rams. What I know is that the Rams can do whatever they have to do against you, whatever they need to do. And the Colts are going to put up points. Their offense is rolling. I mean, look what they did in that first quarter at Tennessee last week. 145-34, up 17-3. The Colts are going to put up points. And what's the Rams' answer going to be? They're going to be able to put up points against this Colts defense. This game is going to soar over. Troy has hammered the over 2 different ways. I'm only on the full game over at this point, but I'm interested in adding to it. This total is skyrocketing. The look ahead was 46.5. It comes out on Sunday night at 46.5, and it gets absolutely slammed. Never buy back for a second. This has gone from 46.5 to 47 to 47.5 to 48.5 to 49 to 49.5. The books that are juiced to the over 49.5, and some are at 50. Points are going to be scored by both teams. I guess I either double down on the full game over or hit the first half over as well. I'm only focused on the amount of points that are going to be scored because they're going to be scored. Charvarius Ward cleared concussion protocol last week, and he's back in it again. That is a big, big loss for the secondary, and the Rams will abuse that loss. I'm on the over 49.5. I got a bad number. Troy has 48, 48.5, and 49. He's tripled up on it.
Yeah, well, I agree strongly on the Rams will score on the Colts defense, and my entire bet is basically on the Rams offense here. I think we've seen enough from Indianapolis offensively to officially say this is a fluke. This is a very good unit. Shane Steichen's got them rolling. So, yeah, I think it's irresponsible to think the Colts are not going to move the football here. I do think the Rams defense is very good, but I mean, the Colts have proven it to us. They went on the road in a division game, stomped the Titans. The Titans are terrible. It's still a road division game. The Broncos, they were moving the football on. The Dolphins, yeah, well, that was a beatdown. I think the Colts offense is gonna move the football. On the other side, I don't know where the stops are coming from. I love this matchup for the Rams offensively. In the last 2 games, the Rams have gotten the run game going. In the last 2 games, it's right here. They're averaging 5.8 yards per carry, 52.9% success rate per rush in the last 2 games. In those last 2 games, they were on the road in Tennessee and then on the road in Philadelphia. 2 road games against defenses, maybe the Titans defense, and maybe not as good as we thought, but it's not. Their offense is terrible. Their defensive front is not that terrible. But regardless, last 2 games, 2 road games, steamrolling the ball on the ground. The Colts have struggled to defend the run this year. That's the weakest aspect of their team is they can't defend the run. So right off the bat, the Colts are going into SoFi and they're like, okay, we need to figure out a way to stop the run, right? That's objective 1. Objective 2, the Colts don't have much of a pass rush. Matt Stafford, while the Colts are trying to figure out how to stop the run, is going to have plenty of room to work in this game. I still don't think the Colts secondary is very good. I don't think they've really seen anybody that could exploit it yet. Tua had the opportunities. He just missed the throws. If you go back and watch that game, and I watched the condensed version, there were plenty of throws that Tua could have made in that game. He didn't make them. And then he played Bo Nix, who is not looking strong to start the year. And then they played Cam Ward, a rookie. So I still don't think this Colts secondary is very good. I just don't think anyone's exploited it yet. Matt Stafford will. By the way, Kenny Moore probably not playing in this game. That's probably one of the Colts' most important defenders. DeForest Buckner missed practice. He might not play. So 2 of the important pieces there in the Colts defense. Yeah, I'm all in on the Rams here. I think they win comfortably. I think they could score 35-plus points in this game.
Yeah, we expect Kenny Moore to be out and Charvarius Ward to be out. I mean, Kenny Moore was a beast. 32-yard return to the house. Now he's going to miss multiple weeks with the calf injury.
He's good as hell, Kenny Moore.
Oof. The points are going to be scored, and Steichen is incredible offensive mind, and he's going to have to be. For the public, I know there was a public dog in the Rams. I wanted the Rams so bad last week, but I can't do it. I can't. If there's 65+% of money on a dog, a road dog, a public road dog. I mean, is there any worse situation? But I felt bad.
Oh my God, I had it. It was painful. I went from having an excellent afternoon, like one of those witching hours where it's like, I'm 4-1 right now. Like, holy shit, I'm 1-4. Like out of nowhere.
It was absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
It was as crazy of 5 or 10 minutes as I've ever seen before. Watching the Browns score all those points in 3.5 minutes, watching the Jets return the touchdown, watching Aaron Glenn dancing up the sidelines. What the hell's he doing dancing up the sidelines?
I know.
Have some composure, man. You're an NFL head coach.
I know. It's not over yet. What are you doing? Act like you've been there. All right, last game up. Game of the day. I think I know where you're going with this, and I agree. If you're going where I think you're going, what are you doing?
The Kansas City Chiefs have made Troy Torrance and I more money than any other team. Maybe the Eagles are close because of our futures with them last year. We have written the script basically for every Chiefs game so far this year. If Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback for the New York Giants and Russell Wilson was the quarterback for the Chiefs, it would have been 22-9 Giants. This Kansas City team is as pedestrian as you could imagine. Pacheco's not that good. Kareem Hunt is serviceable. You have Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy out of the lineup. They say Xavier Worthy could come back for this, but he's banged up. Mahomes is brilliant. And I love watching the Chiefs play because they're so predictable. That's what we're looking for in sports gambling is predictability. We have a chance now to take advantage of this pretty underwhelming 22-9 victory because the Ravens lost to the Lions, and they lost pretty clearly. The Ravens are so much better than the Kansas City Chiefs. And we're getting a number under 3. Are you kidding me? This is an absolute investment spot, an angry Ravens squad that is so now. Look, the Chiefs are a special group. Spags is a phenomenal defensive coordinator, and you have a brilliant quarterback. Ravens minus 2.5. Ravens double result at plus 162. There was Cap in the chat asking about the double result. It's just you have to be ahead of first half and you have to win the game. And it's completely changed the added investment for me. Whether I do it like this, whether I got the Ravens minus 2.5 and then I add the double result at plus 162, it's helped me very, very much, helped my ROI. Ravens are on a short week. They look terrible. They're not rushing the ball well. This is a Ravens team that's 1-2. I cannot fathom that we're getting a buy low spot on a team as good as the Baltimore Ravens. They go in there and they comfortably take care of business against the Chiefs.
Agree completely. And I'm actually thinking about adding the over as well, because one thing I will say, if you are back in the Chiefs, and I agree with you, Ravens at under a field goal, I probably would lay the 3, to be honest. But I think we're going to see points. And what the Ravens have been doing a lot of is a lot of man coverage, almost 39% man coverage. That's a lot in today's NFL. And against the Chiefs, it should match up well. They don't really have receivers that can beat their corners, but what Mahomes does a lot of against man coverage, against single high looks, he takes deep shots, almost a 20% deep throw rate. And he's got Hollywood Brown, he's got Worthy back. So I think Mahomes will connect on a big throw in this game against the man coverage, against the single high safeties. But on the other side of the ball, I mean, the Chiefs have been one of the worst run defenses in the NFL so far this year. I don't think it stays that way for the rest of the season. They can't stop the run. The Ravens are pissed off. Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to score on most drives in this game. And I think we can count on Mahomes to connect on a big one to one of his speedy receivers, but I don't expect them to sustain long drives in this game. So give me the over, and the Ravens would be at under a field goal would be my fit. I like that a little bit stronger, but I also think it gets up and over. 48 is a super high total for a Chiefs game this year. So I actually think we'll see the Chiefs get to 20 points, but I think we'll see the Ravens at 30 plus.
Yeah, I mean, it works. The over works with your cap for sure, because who is going to dictate the pace? And often you think, well, the home team will dictate the pace, but here I often say that it's the best team on the field dictates the pace. They have control over the pace of this game. You have Derrick Henry livid. I mean, here is a running back, a superstar running back in Derrick Henry, who has fumbled twice in the fourth quarter through 3 games this year. In his entire career, he has 2 fourth quarter fumbles in 136 games. Until this year, he's got 2 through 3 games in the fourth quarter. He is going to be a wrecking ball out there. I mean, Derrick Henry, if he's happy, is a problem. Now he's so angry. He's so focused. This is a Ravens team that's 1-2. This is the easiest bet on the board. Now, nothing is easy in sports gambling. And when you look back at a bet, you're like, well, I guess that was easy. But the capping, the planning, the preparation, getting your bet in, getting the line right, and then winning easily, it took a lot for you to win easily. But I think that the Baltimore Ravens are the best bet on the board Sunday at 4:25 p.m. Eastern. I cannot wait to watch this game. I love watching Mahomes try to make something out of very little. This is the worst Kansas City Chiefs I've seen them quarterback. Yeah. And I love it.
Yeah, and the way I phrase it, we were talking about, this is the easiest bet on the board. The way I phrase it is, my decision was very easy here, not necessarily. So I agree with what you're saying.
No, that's well put.
So your guys' show was last night, and you went through the whole slate, right? I hopped in there for a minute, but I didn't stay the whole time.
Yeah, these are marathon shows, man.
Yeah.
The more excited you get about capping, the longer that you want to cap it, and that's sort of what's happening here. We had a monster week 3, so we come into week 4 with all this positivity. So we've hammered every single game on the board, and Troy wants to be here right now. He's got his national meetings with his company. He'll be back next week, but we're extremely thankful to Rock here with the Sauce Network, all these great cappers in the chat. And, and it's okay also being on the other side. We're not a bunch of yes men. We're coming with information. We're coming with a plan, and we're attacking it. And if you're on the other side, it's all good. You can be on the Chiefs. You can be there with confidence. There's no anger towards any of that. You're not fading me. You have capped the game, and you've taken a different route, and that's part of the fun. So go out there and get that cash. And Kyle, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I put in the chat Pub Sports Radio. Just type that into YouTube, and it's called their football show. It's called Bankroll Blitz, and it was on last night. And they go through the whole slate. And I'm surprised you didn't pick, and we don't have to go through it or anything. Man, I'm with you on the Falcons all the way. I'm surprised you didn't pick that game. I'm with you.
Oh, I'm all over the Falcons.
Me too, man. I love the Falcons.
I'm just going to hammer. I'm going to invest so heavily. I just want all the information of who's at quarterback here.
It seems like they're pricing the game for Daniels in. I think we'll see.
They are. It's so important to be responsible.
Yeah.
And I can't come on to show and say you have to hammer the Falcons because of this, and that, and then the line is completely different because it's not Mariota and it's Jaden Daniels. The Falcons is probably the best bet on the board. I need all the information if I'm going to attack it and invest heavily in it. One thing that I've watch Troy do is you can hammer these bets in several different ways. You don't need to have 3 or 4 units on that one line. You can bet it in several different ways. And I plan on investing heavily on the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm in on the Falcons. The way I looked at it was plus 1.5. If Daniels is ruled in, I think that line is reflected of Daniels playing and maybe limited. I'm not sure how much more they would be laying with that, with a healthy Daniels. If he's ruled out, I think it swings, and I'm holding a good number. So that's the way I looked at it. Now, obviously, if everyone's ruled in for Washington, maybe I lose a little bit of value. But I weighed my options, and I was like, plus 1.5, I think, is going to be a good number to hold when all the dust settles.
You're probably right, and we discussed that as well. Should I have a unit here on either the one thing that I'm not doing anymore? And we're all trying to evolve as cappers, and we need to talk about what we're doing wrong. And that's not exactly what you're doing right is great, but what are you doing wrong? And I've switched in MLB to the first 5 plus a half. I want things to be expensive, and my ROI is skyrocketed. Last year, all my life, I would bet the plus 115. Now I'm betting the minus 120 on the first 5 plus a half. I did not have the Cardinals on the plus 1.5. I had them on the plus money line. I'm going to stop doing that. That's done. I'm going to stop making that mistake. I need to evolve myself. So getting that plus 1.5, I think, is the smarter way of handling things. I'll be doing the same as we move forward.
All right. Make sure you guys go check out Pub Sports Radio. Jim, have yourself a good night. Let's talk some college football. All right, it's Wednesday, so we got Kyle Hunter here along with Jace Sternberger, former All-American tight end at Texas A&M. I always forget to give the intro, so I remember that time. We've got a loaded weekend of college football. There's so many good games. We tried to pick like some of the biggest ones, and we didn't even cover them all. We got 8 lined up, and there's still other ones that we're not even going to get to. We got a couple on Friday night first, then we're getting into the Saturday games. So we'll start with the Friday night games. And Kyle, why don't you kick us off? Huge Big 12 game here. TCU on the road in Tempe. What do you like here?
I don't have a strong opinion on this game. Two teams who we think play really fast, but they've kind of slowed it down this year. TCU's 41st in tempo. Arizona State all the way down at 93rd. It seems like they've kind of cranked things down a bit without Scadaboo. I think Leavitt's a good quarterback, but he's not getting too much help from his wide receivers outside of Tyson. Arizona State coming off that win at Baylor, but they won because they were +3 in turnover margin. I think that was, quite clearly the only way that they won there. This one is that angle where you take a top 25 team that's an underdog, and if you just back the top 25 team that's an underdog, you've actually done really poorly. 44.6% ATS the last 20 years. I will say that's a large sample size, solid angle. If I had to bet, I do lean TCU. I just am a little bit concerned about that. I think Arizona State needs to establish the run. That's the best way for them to win here. This is probably one of my least favorites that we're going to talk about today. So hopefully one of you guys has a stronger opinion than me.
What do you think, Jace?
So if you would have told me I'd be this excited about TCU 4 weeks ago, would have called you crazy. But I'm week in after week out, I'm starting to kind of fall in love with this Sonny Dykes team. I think they definitely have a chip on their shoulder, but what stuck out to me in this game, and I think it's going to play a huge factor, it's honestly going to come down to it, in my opinion, is the third down efficiency. Quick couple of numbers real quick. First off, to give Arizona State credit, they're ranked third on third down defense. Their conversion rate is 29%, so I do give them props for that. However, TCU's offense is 11th nationally ranked in the third down conversion, so we'll see how that battle goes, but overall, I think TCU's offense is just much better, and I don't think Leavitt's healthy. Everything that I just keep looking up it makes me want to bet TCU even more, and not really the points. I want to take the money line, and I know the over might be the popular pick in this game just because they think the two playing styles both being aggressive, but I personally, I'm going to take TCU money line.
So I feel like if you asked me this question 2 weeks ago, I would have agreed with you guys, but I think I kind of agree with the movement. So this is mostly up at 3 now. The 2.5s are gone. So it looks like some influential action came in on the Arizona State side, and I think I agree with it. I've been really impressed with Arizona State, and the thing with TCU's offense, it looks so pretty in that North Carolina game. Last week, they played without their main RB there, Kavorian Barnes. He's going to be out again. And they didn't have much run support, I guess, against SMU. Under 3.9 yards per carry. Success rate doesn't look great. And now they're going up against Arizona State. That's been pretty strong. I was impressed with Arizona State's defense last week. And I know that sounds crazy because of Baylor, most of their wounds were self-inflicted. So I know to say, like, oh, how could you be impressed with Arizona State's defense? Well, they made a couple of big stops there in that game. And in the third quarter, Arizona State couldn't get things going offensively. Baylor got the ball 3 times, didn't score a point. So their defense is what kept them in that game for their offense to eventually win it. And you look at the numbers, okay, they let up 45.9% success rate, 5.76 yards per play, 24 points in the game. It doesn't look like an elite defensive performance, but considering they were on the road against one of the most explosive offenses in college football, this defense made some clutch plays. And if Arizona State is not a defense that blitzes a lot. In fact, a 14% blitz rate so far this year. And if TCU can't keep them honest with the run game, missing their main running back, Arizona State sitting back might be able to jump on those quick underneath throws, those quick swing passes that Sonny Dykes loves to run. I think this is kind of a tough matchup for TCU's offense, and I think Arizona State's defense can give them some problems. And on the other side, I have questions. Kyle mentioned it. Maybe we could put it on the wide receivers. The passing attack hasn't really been there for Arizona State. Sam Leavitt's passing numbers don't look all that great. The rushing numbers, though, they've been steamrolling 5.46 yards per carry. I mean, they've got they've been running all over everybody, and they haven't even had one of their main weapons. Kyson Brown is back now. So they've got Kanye Udo, Sam Leavitt can run the ball, Raleek Brown. They've got ball carriers for days. Now, TCU is getting one of their main edge rushers back for this game. His name's Chapman. He's been out. He was a freshman All-American last year. He's back. So if you like TCU, you like that. but they're going to be missing their main corner. Arizona missing a couple pieces on defense as well. What I wrote down was it would be Arizona State at under a field goal, but I agree with Kyle. I don't necessarily love this game, and I'll put it up Arizona State because that's my pick for the game. But let me be clear: do not bet this at 3. If you want to bet Arizona State, you should already have a 2.5, and if you can't find a 2.5, you might have missed the boat there.
It's going to be more fun to watch, I think, than to gamble.
Yeah, I do have a bet on the other Friday night game. Actually, I kind of want to bet all the other 2 Friday night games. We're only talking about one here. This next one, Florida State, Virginia. I'll go first because I have a bet on the game. I have a +7.5. And look, maybe they're playing possum with Castellanos, and maybe he's completely fine. We don't know. For those of you that don't know, he left last week with an injury, did not return to the game. Now, as we're recording this, Army's taking some money. I was wondering why that was up at 5.5. Sorry. Anyway, I just flashed on my screen. But anyway, so for those of you that don't know, Castellanos left the Kent State game with an injury, did not return. Now, did he not return because they were beating the life out of Kent State? He limped off the field, and they've been pretty sketchy about answering questions about it. They're like, we'll have to wait and see. I think he'll be good to go. Like we're getting those college football coach sketchy injury answers. It's a short week. They're going on the road. If Castellanos doesn't play, obviously Virginia +7.5 is a great bet. He may play, in which case I still think it's a decent bet. But if Castellanos doesn't play, it's a great bet. If Castellanos is limited, I like it. We'll have to wait and see. So here's my thoughts on Florida State are we have one excellent data point in which they played a quarterback making his first start on the road in Tallahassee. Doak Campbell, like what a crazy environment for your first career start. It's an impressive data point. It was a huge win. They beat up on Alabama pretty good. We're clearly the better team, but it's one data point. And other than that, they haven't played anybody. They beat up on two really bad football teams, and Virginia looks really strong. I mean, here's the thing with Virginia's defense. You look at their overall season numbers, they don't look that good, but it was really one game, the NC State game, and they played that game without Cam Robinson at linebacker, who's their best defensive player. He's now back. And Clary, the safety, he didn't play either in that game. He's supposed to be back as well. That's 2 of their best defensive players that should be on the field against Florida State. And in their other games, Virginia's defense looked pretty good. I mean, in their other 3 games, granted, Stanford, Coastal, okay. But they held the teams under 30% success rate. So I think this defense is strong, especially now that they're healthier. On the other side, I mean, Chandler Morris looks comfortable. They haven't really played a ton of tough defenses. Florida State's obviously a huge step up. But again, Florida State's defense, one data point against a quarterback making his first career start on the road. It's kind of a... I don't want to say like BS. We ignore it, but I'm saying, dude, a quarterback making his first career start in Doak Campbell is a crazy data point. So I just think the market's a little bit of an overreaction to what we've seen from Florida State so far this year on a short week with injury question marks to Castellanos. My thinking was if Castellano plays and is 100%, that's the worst case scenario, in which case I bet a lean at Virginia +7.5. If he plays and is limited, I like my bet. If he doesn't play, I absolutely love my bet. So at the very worst case scenario, I played one of my leans here. I'm on Virginia +7.5. I like Chandler Morris. They look strong. Jace, you with me?
Absolutely, and it really doesn't matter if he's playing possum or not. There's just something about Friday night and underdogs, and now you got a home dog 7. I got it at 7.5 as well. Or I think when I was telling you about Indiana opening up so high earlier in the week. I don't know if this is true, but I'm pretty sure they're wearing their 1995 throwback jerseys. So that just gives me a little more of an aura, a little more hype, a little more action in the student section. I talked about the third down conversion and how successful TCU is earlier, but Virginia, they rank 4th. They're 4th in the nation defensively on third downs. Again, I think that's like one of my favorite stats playing. And I always look at if you see a team converting on third down, you're in for a long day on defense. And so them having the defense where they haven't necessarily been tested as well as maybe the Florida State Bama game, but I think it's oversaturated from their dominant performance against Bama, because since then it's easy to get hyped up for a team when you have 3 months to prepare. But we're in week 5 now of college football. I don't know if TC is going to bring that same energy he did against Bama, calling them out and giving them bulletin board material. I know at Florida State, I think they're getting a defensive lineman back that could play a factor. But
They are.
I mean, if you look up the yards per game, I think Virginia is top 5 in the country right now. And so I don't think Florida State's just going to come in and shut that down immediately. But not 7.5 points worth anyway. So I'm for sure on the Cavaliers 7.5. And then that plus 220 might be fun just to gamble if I was bored.
Yeah, I think there's an edge rusher. I forgot to write it down. And also, Virginia's probably going to be without their center, Brady Wilson, in this game. So Virginia's going to be missing an offensive lineman. Kyle, you with us on the Cavs?
Yep, 3 for 3 here on taking Virginia. I think that's a good spot for Virginia. Florida State played that really good game, and now they've played 2 terrible teams. If you look at Sagarin's strength of schedule, Florida State's 238th. So you do the math there. There's a ton of FCS teams that have played a tougher schedule than has Florida State thus far. So do we want to just assume Florida State's elite based on one game? I'd rather see it multiple times. I also think Chandler Morris is pretty good. I mean, he's been around for a good while now. Dual threat guy. He can run, he can throw. And, PFF grade of 85 so far this year. Morris has been very solid. I think he'll be good here too. Virginia's 20th in PPA margin. They're 17th in offensive success rate. And, if you look at the Florida State side, Castellanos, I don't know. I've heard people pronounce it different ways. So I don't know which it is. I'll just say both. And, this is a guy who really had a lot of mistakes in past years. He had 23 big-time throws, 29 turnover-worthy plays. The reason he got benched at BC was because even though he had those highlight reel plays, he turned it over a lot. Pick sixes that really hurt the team. I know Florida State fans are going to say, well, he's in a different situation. They fixed that. It's not going to be an issue. I want to see it before I trust that too. I think that he's a fun player to watch. I think there's some variance involved in a game like this. It's going to shock me if Florida State wins by 25 or 30 points. It won't shock me, but I think Virginia could win this game too. I think Virginia plus 240 on the money line is actually a pretty decent bet here. You're taking a chance with a nice home crowd here. Florida State has been playing weak competition the last couple of weeks. This game means a ton to Virginia, so definitely like Virginia here on this one.
Let's go. All 3 of us on the Cavs. Let's move on.
And it's Florida. I think it's Florida State's first road game too of the season.
The next game up, Notre Dame, Arkansas. Kyle, are you out on the Irish?
I'm out on the Irish defense. I mean, what is going on with the Irish defense? I would have assumed that there was nothing anyone could do that would make this secondary not be good because they've been so good for a long time. And I would have been wrong because, Purdue puts up 30 points on Notre Dame. Maybe Purdue's a little bit better than some people thought, but Purdue shouldn't be scoring 30 points against Notre Dame. We know that. And if you look at the explosiveness they're giving up, Notre Dame's 123rd in the country in pass explosiveness allowed, tons of big plays. The secondaries look terrible. That was a massive strength for this team for many years. Arkansas, their defense isn't good either. I think this will be a high-scoring game. Over the total I really like Arkansas team total over 29.5 quite a bit. So overs and everything here. I don't know who will win the game. I think it'll be very high scoring. Taylor Green, 90.1 PFF grade. Arkansas loses the game to Memphis despite gaining 7.6 yards per play. I have a friend who's an Arkansas fan. He always tells me Arkansas finds ways to lose games in the most crazy way you've ever seen. And he texts me right at the end of last game. It's like, see, you didn't think. And I mean, he's kind of right. Arkansas has found ways to lose games over the years that they should have never lost. This is a chance for them to kind of bounce back. Notre Dame, they haven't looked very good. Notre Dame gave up 41 points to A&M, 30 to Purdue. Now they take on a fast-paced Arkansas team with Taylor Green. I think they're going to give up points here too. So over and Arkansas team total over.
Yeah, Notre Dame needs Leonard Moore back in the worst way. It's one of their corners who's been out. He's listed as questionable. Actually, while you were talking, I was trying to see. Looks like something was posted yesterday. I'm trying to see if there was any update on that, but this website keeps trying to get me to pay, so no. Jace, what do you think? Are you out on the Irish defense too?
Yeah, I'm it's definitely not what it has been in the past, to say the least. And I think a lot of Notre Dame alumni would agree with me. I think the line opened at 7.5 or 7, and initial first thought, I'm like, okay, that's obviously Arkansas. I'm taking the points, and then the line, now I see it at -4, and I'm just like, well, now I want to take Arkansas money line because, and this is no knock to Notre Dame's offense. I think CJ Carr is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in years to come. I think he's just going to keep developing. I don't trust Notre Dame's defense at all, and Arkansas fans are going to think I'm crazy, and they're not what their record shows right now. And I know you can say that about any game played. Oh, if we just had this one play back, but you can't control Sam Pittman can't control those 2 fumbles. If they don't fumble in these last 2 games, they're 4-0 right now. We're talking about them. They might be favored in this game, or it might be the line might be different. And I think Bobby Petrino is going to dominate this game. I think Taylon Green, I think they, for sure, the team total over. I want over just like Kyle and everything, but I think Arkansas is going to win.
Oh, man, I disagree. I think this is getting into playable on the Notre Dame side, man. If I can get a 3.5, I don't know if that's even realistic, but guys,
I could see that.
Arkansas's defense is not good. They've really been exposed the last 2 games. In the last 2 games, they're allowing almost a 50% success rate, 6.9 yards per play to Ole Miss and Memphis. So, yeah, they put up some decent defensive numbers the first couple of games against Arkansas State, an FCS opponent. But now that we're getting into decent competition, Arkansas's defense has turned back into a pumpkin. It's terrible, just like it was last year. And CJ Carr looks great. Guys, he opened up the season on the road in Hard Rock against a very, very strong Miami team. He didn't even play that bad in that game. The story of that game was, wow, Carson Beck looks great against the Notre Dame defense. The story of that game was not, wow, CJ Carr is terrible. I thought he was actually all right. And the last 2 games, I mean, he played Texas A&M and Purdue. His numbers look great. I think CJ Carr is playing well, and we haven't really seen Notre Dame get the run game going yet. Well, against Arkansas's defense, they should hand the ball off and get 6 yards per carry, no problem here. Arkansas is 122nd in success rate per rush on the season. So I think Notre Dame is going to move the chains at will in this game because everyone decent does against Arkansas. Arkansas is still going to be without their main corner there, Walker. He was carted off the field in week 3. I would imagine he's going to miss some time. I don't know if he's been officially ruled out, but he was carted off. I would imagine he's not going to play. So they're still missing their main corner. I don't think this Arkansas defense is good at all. Now, on the other side, I know everyone is selling all of their stock in the Notre Dame defense, and I can't even say I don't understand. I will say the only game... All right, here's the way I'll phrase it. The first game, Miami cooked on Notre Dame's defense, and they looked unprepared. They looked out-coached. They didn't look like they belonged on the same field as Carson Beck and Miami's offense. The last 2 games, man, I thought, what's his name? A&M quarterback, Reese. I thought Reed. Yeah. I thought he was making some plays. Like, he was actually under pressure. I thought he played really well. And in the Purdue game, I kind of thought the same thing. Yeah, Notre Dame didn't play a good defensive game, but there were a couple plays there where he was under pressure and he just got the pass off, and I was like, dude, he couldn't do that again if he tried 10 times. Like, I'm not saying luck or anything like that. I'm just saying there was a lot of plays where it's like, wow, that was kind of like a broken play. If you look at their pressure numbers the last 2 games, it's nothing like the Miami game. They're actually generating pressure in the Texas A&M game and the Purdue game. And look, Taylon Green's electric as hell. His numbers under pressure are pretty bad this year. I think Notre Dame's defense bounces back a little bit. By no means do I think they're going to go on the road and stop this Arkansas offense. It's explosive. They could score on anybody. But I think Notre Dame's going to hold on to the ball for 6-7 minutes at a clip. All it's going to take is one Taylon Green turnover for them to be playing from behind. I think Notre Dame bounces back in a major way. I don't have a bet on it, but it's down to 4. I think 3.5 I play on Notre Dame. All right. USC, Illinois. Interesting one here. So real quick, before we get into it, let me start with I think the lead story here is injuries on the Illinois side. Let me go get to my notes. This is actually crazy, by the way. So are you ready for this? Illinois secondary. Brace yourself. So they're all Big Ten cornerback Xavier Scott got injured in week 3. He'll be out for a while. So they're all conference corner out. Another starting corner, Caleb Patterson, he left the Indiana game injured. He's listed as questionable, but he was seen on crutches, expected to miss time. He's pretty much definitely out. He was seen on crutches. So that's 2 corners out. Another starting corner, Torrey Cox Jr. He left the Indiana game injured as well. He's listed as questionable. We're not getting straight answers on that. That's their top 3 corners. 2 definitely out, 1 maybe out. Their starting safety and leading tackler, Matthew Bailey. He suffered a concussion in the Indiana game. He's in protocol. He's listed in questionable, but he just suffered it. He's probably out. That's their starting safety and leading tackler. Their other starting safety actually will play. He got ejected for targeting. He'll be back. But it was almost all 5 starters in the secondary. And keep in mind, this is already a secondary that's missing Jaheim Clark, who's been out the entire season. So theoretically, 5 of the top 6 DBs on Illinois might not be playing in this game. This secondary is decimated. So even though you never take USC the last couple of years, you don't take USC to go on the road and cover as a favorite in a true road Big Ten game. They lost all 3 of them outright last year. We've seen one year this year. They went to Purdue. They didn't cover. So you don't take USC to go on the road in a true Big Ten game and cover. But this Illinois defense is a mess. And it's really tough to make a case for Illinois' backup secondary. By the way, Illinois secondaries look awful anyway. So their second unit to go out there and stop USC's offense. I can't believe I'm saying this. It would only be USC because of the injuries are just crazy here on the Illinois side. What do you guys? I know even putting this up, laying almost a touchdown in a road Big Ten game with USC after what we've seen. But the entire freaking secondary's out for Illinois. Kyle, what do you think?
I think this is a really, really tough side to bet. I mean, do you want to bet USC traveling this far when we've seen how USC has played in these kind of spots before? Or do you want to bet Illinois with, I think there were some comments that they were trying to figure out who was going to play in the secondary at the end of last game. Like we might have to put somebody out there that's never played in the secondary in their life. Jaden Maeva is excellent. He's looked really good in this Lincoln Riley offense. I kind of think that he's a sneaky Heisman future bet. I mean, he's been going up to this point. Now we have, the injury news to Mateer to where somebody under the radar is going to jump up. If they can win games like this, he's going to put up big numbers. Maeva and Lincoln Riley's offense, I think both Jordan and Sanders are really good running backs. I mean, situationally, guys, this would be that game where you say, Illinois just got blasted last game. Bielema's going to have them ready for this game. There's no way they can do that twice in a row. You got USC coming east. But I can't bet Illinois. I mean, I just can't make myself take Illinois with all the problems they have. Also, what do we think of when we look at Illinois? Usually Bielema's teams are really good in the trenches. Their offensive line's been bad this year. They're really not getting much at all. 3.65 yards per carry, 112th in the country. It's strange to say this, but Illinois has to pass with Luke Altmaier to have much success. And Altmaier's good. He makes good plays, can come up with some things that most guys can't. USC is defensively talented, but still inconsistent. I watched the whole game against Michigan State. I think Aiden Childs got some really deep plays just because of busted coverages there in the USC secondary. Is that going to happen again here? It very well could. My favorite bet here would be over. I'm taking too many overs here, Kyle. I don't love that because I'm usually an under better more than anything else. But over 60, it's a little bit higher than what I would really want to play it at. Bielema has to coach up the team after that kind of shellacking. At the same time, I'm confident USC is a significantly better team than Illinois. So I don't want to bet the side. I'm going to leave that for you guys. I'll lean the over here.
I wrote lean over in my notes as well. The thing that kept me off the over was these aren't particularly the most fast-paced teams. Right. They're not like super slow-paced, but to get up and over 60 with maybe might not be the fastest paced game in the world is what kept me off. But it would only be, I don't know where the stops are coming from in this game. Right. I think Altmaier bounces back and is able to have a big game. So I think Illinois is going to put up points too. I just don't see where the stops are coming from here, unless USC just shoots themselves in the foot, which, let's be honest, we've seen out of the link before. Jace, are you a Lincoln Riley guy?
The farthest thing from it. I used to be. I used to be. I was a fan when he was at Oklahoma for a little bit, but then now, especially at USC, it's just ultimate cringe. Did not know that about the Illinois secondary. realistically that wants me to make me change my pick, but I'm going to be devil's advocate, and I think it's easier to adapt to losing your whole secondary with a week of prep as if it was to happen on game day and they're just thrown out there in the fire and then your whole game plan's kind of messed up. So I'm trusting coaching here in that they're going to come up with a plan to at least slow down this USC offense. And unfortunately, like you said, Kyle, I also witnessed Aiden Childs play quarterback that whole game and watched him play. I'm not a big fan of him, so I'm definitely a hater when it comes to Michigan State. That game was so boring, and I think USC's always going to be USC to me. They're going to be explosive and flashy, but when it comes down to like nitty gritty, they're not. You just can't trust them. And so the way that game started, I thought they were going to put 60 points on Michigan State, and then I wake up because it was 3 a.m. or whatever when the game ended, and it's 35-21. And I'm just like, well, did they just start stalling or what happened? And I still think with injuries that Illinois is better than Michigan State. I don't, like you already said, traveling to Champaign for your first road trip, I have no faith in Lincoln Riley. You made great points. I think now with that secondary hurt, you would think that they would cover, and they beat them pretty bad, but I'm still going to go Illinois 7.5.
Yeah, I will. Well, look, I'm not crazy about laying points to Illinois, traveling to the middle of the country for a Big Ten game on a short week. That seems like, oh, no, it's not on a short week. My bad. I thought we were still talking about the Friday games. But that seems like a suicide mission. But yeah.
And it's make or break, too, for Illinois, if you want to be honest. Like, this is one of those, like, they have to win this. They're going to, if they think they can compete for the playoffs in their world. Like I said, to the outside world, we don't think that, but they do.
Yeah, I mean, spot wise, this is you hammer Illinois here. I couldn't do it. Now we move on to Aggie Nation. Jace, what do you think of your guys here? Big game.
Huge game. I'm actually going. I don't have the best record when I'm in attendance, so I'm hoping we did win the last one I was at, which was LSU. So that I got that going for me. Yeah, I don't trust Jackson Arnold. I don't think anybody does. He's a good, like I said, he's an average college quarterback. He's very talented with his legs. This is going to be a identity game for A&M's defense. Giving up 40 points or however many we gave up to Notre Dame, we had a lot of miscues and a lot of unforced errors that we didn't need to cause. And I think after having a long bye week, Coach Elko, I did go to our practice last week because I just needed to see with my own eyes to make sure. I was like, I'm talking about these guys so much, I need to actually watch their defense. And I think Elko has a plan. They're going to come with a good plan for Hugh Freeze, and they have a lot of familiarity. I think Auburn's going to try to win the clock, time of possession. They're just going to run the ball and try to not make it come down to where Jackson Arnold doesn't have to make a play for us to win the game, and then we're going to be all right. However, I just don't think A&M's defense is going to step up and not let Arkansas run the ball like they want to. Auburn arguably has the best receiver in the country with Cam Coleman, but it doesn't do any good if you can't get the ball to him. He was open multiple times last week against Oklahoma, and they never capitalized. Granted, one was an awful pass interference call that should have been called, but it wasn't. I don't think A&M's offense is good. They might be a little emotionally hungover from scoring 41 against Notre Dame, but I still think they're going to come out, and it's going to come down to the front seven. Auburn has a great defensive line. They're very physical, and I think they have one of the best rushing defenses in the country. And so that'll be a true test for Le'Veon Moss and Marcel and all those other guys to see if we can get that flowing. But saying all that, I still don't know if I'm comfortable laying A&M a touchdown or 6.5, whatever it is. I think it's going to be close, and if A&M does cover, it will be in like the last 4 minutes of the game where they get a defensive touchdown or they rush one in. But I just don't think Auburn trusts Jackson Arnold to make throws in this game, so I'm going to take the under in this game.
Oh, okay, going under. All right. So a wrench got thrown into my plan here. I had Auburn in the last one, and my plan was Auburn plays Oklahoma down to the wire, maybe even wins, and then I take A&M to win comfortably the next week coming off the bye. And about 3-4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, my plan was looking lovely. And then what happened to Auburn at the end of that game, that safety, part of me died with that safety, man. Oh, man, that was brutal. So now Auburn misses out on the cover like that. Now, it doesn't change anything. Now, if we're comparing matchups, one thing I will say, if you're on the Auburn side, Auburn, big physical offensive line, big physical rushing attack, Jackson Arnold included. I do think Oklahoma has the best defensive line in the country. And even Auburn really can't catch a break. Now they go against Texas A&M's defensive front. I don't think they're quite as good as Oklahoma's. So I think Auburn can have a little bit more success running the ball against Texas A&M. I'm not expecting 5 yards a carry. I'm just saying a little bit more success running the ball against Texas A&M than they did against Oklahoma, because I think Oklahoma's defensive line is the best in the country. That being said, Texas A&M coming off a bye. Like, are you kidding me? You can't even catch a break here, Auburn. Coming off a bye. They got 2 weeks to prep for this. When it comes to Jackson Arnold, it kind of reminds me of like a Sam Ehlinger type, good college quarterback, right? Average college quarterback, maybe. I think he has a little bit higher ceiling than that, but his numbers under pressure are concerning so far this year. Not the biggest sample size, but how many times was he sacked last week? 40, 41, 40 sacks he took? What felt like 40 sacks, I should say. Dude has a tendency to hold on to the ball. And the numbers show it. Holding on to the football too long. Texas A&M's pass rush off a bye week. It's tough. But honestly, overall on this side of the ball, I do think Auburn's offense will have a little bit more success here than it did against Oklahoma. It's on the other side of the ball is where I think the matchup swings towards Texas A&M, because I've said a number of times here, I don't think Oklahoma's offense is nearly as good as perceived. They have a superstar quarterback who's being talked in the Heisman talks, but outside of that, they don't have much run support. They've got a couple wide receivers that can make plays, but it's a pretty one-dimensional offense. Texas A&M's offense, it's like the exact opposite of Oklahoma. It's, okay, maybe they don't have the Heisman Trophy quarterback, even though some people think he might be, but maybe they don't have that. But everywhere else is loaded. They got one of the best offensive lines in the country. They got Concepcion, a wide receiver, making plays. They've got the superstar running back. So it's like the exact opposite of Oklahoma in the sense that it's very well-rounded. And Auburn's defense played well against Oklahoma. Mateer made some throws there, but I think Texas A&M could put up a number on them. I think they're going to move the football in Auburn, especially coming off a bye. Auburn coming straight out of Norman. Terrible spot at Kyle Field. I thought Auburn was going to beat Oklahoma, and then we get Texas A&M at like 3.5, 4, and I was going to nuke it. But now we're dealing with 6.5 because they lost. Give me Texas A&M. But I haven't betted or anything. But yeah, I think Texas A&M could move the ball on Auburn and just in a much more favorable position. What do you think, Kyle?
I'm going to take Texas A&M here, and I guess based on Jace's comment there, if I lose this bet, I'll blame Jace and say he shouldn't go to the next game that I'm taking A&M. I disagree with one other thing that Jace said, and that's I have to take my guy Jeremiah Smith over Cam Coleman. It's the best wide receiver in the country, but I'm a Buckeye, so I know Cam Coleman's fantastic. I think here Elko has 2 weeks to get ready for Jackson Arnold. Arnold is really predictable on the key downs. He really wants to run. I don't know that he trusts himself making that big throw on third or fourth down. And I mean, the one knock on the A&M defense is they're 128th in explosiveness allowed. So they do give up some big plays. Can they avoid giving up those big plays here? They're actually 26th in success rate allowed, but 128th in explosiveness. The thing is, Auburn's really not been an explosive team, 120th in the country in explosiveness. So I don't really see them taking advantage of that one weakness. I like what I've seen out of A&M in the red zone, too. 9 touchdowns and 10 trips into the red zone. Reed's making really good decisions. I think he's really progressed here quite a bit. Auburn's 122nd in coverage grade at PFF, 101st in QBR allowed. Definitely a weakness there. A&M 22nd in pass play explosiveness. I think they hit some big ones here. Really, really bad spot for Auburn, I think. Second straight road game, really hostile environment. I mean, that was a tough way to lose the way they lost last week. I mean, definitely deserved to cover. Totally agree with that. And now they go to A&M, where A&M's had a week off, should be well prepared. I mean, also Auburn won at Baylor, but I think that win is looking a little bit less impressive than it did at the time based on Baylor's, inconsistency. A&M extra rest, Auburn hard fought loss. I'm taking A&M here.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Tough game, and I actually bet it too. I'll put my pick up, but honestly, I the more I look at this one, the more I think this is just like a coin flip. So I'll put my pick up. I'm on LSU money line. But this was before the Twitter madness and like all this is going. Now all of a sudden I'm looking at it like I don't think Lane Kiffin loses. I don't know. Jace, what do you think about this? What are your comments on the Twitter madness?
The Twitter madness was awesome, but troll to troll, I'll forever love Lane Kiffin. I think he's amazing for the SEC. I think he's in the perfect fit. I don't think he should leave for Florida. I think Ole Miss, I mean, he would do some damage at Florida, but I think he's in a great spot. That was diabolical. And the fact that it just shows that his daughter's a troll too, because people are acting like, oh, Lane Kiffin's just finding out about this. Like, I mean, I feel like we all know that's not how relationships work. I doubt she just sprung this on dad. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure they've had dinner together before, and he's very aware of the situation. So I'm not buying the hype on the over. Lane Kiffin, yes, he's going to try to, but you're just going to have to prove. LSU's going to have to show me, because I don't see where this over would be coming from on the LSU side. I don't see how they move the ball. I was just talking, not to name drop, I was just talking to my buddy Thaddeus Moss, and I every week I ask him about LSU. I'm like, you guys going to do it? You going to do it? Blah, blah, blah. He said, man, it's going to be an easy dub, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I agree. Watching LSU defense versus Ole Miss offense is going to be great content. Like, that's going to be great TV. But when LSU has the ball and we're watching Ole Miss defense, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to get from that. I'm not excited. LSU has one of the worst rushing offenses, opposed to Ole Miss having one of the worst rush defenses. So if you think LSU is going to make a move, it's going to have to be in the run game. But we've seen for the past 2 years now, or maybe ever since Brian Kelly's been there, LSU and running the ball just doesn't. We're not scared of it like we used to be with Leonard Fournette and all those amazing running backs LSU has had in the past. And so I'm a fan of Trinidad. I'm all on the hype train. The Ferris State. I had a former teammate played at Ferris State. The third down matchup's going to be elite. Ole Miss offense is 18. LSU's defense is 14th on third down, and so I think that's again where we're going to find out. But realistically, I think it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. And I'm going with Ole Miss.
Ooh, Ole Miss. Here's the thing. All right, so as far as LSU's rushing attack, in addition to the things you said, it hasn't been good. The rushing attack so far, I don't even have the numbers in front of me. Oh, yeah, I do. 106 in success rate, 93rd in PPA per rush. Rushing attack hasn't looked efficient, and Durham, also, he sprained his ankle. He's listed as probable. He's going to play, but he might not even be 100% their RB there. So, yeah, I'm worried about the LSU rushing attack. And honestly, I'm worried about the LSU offense as a whole. I don't disagree with anything you said on that side. It's the other side where I think maybe people are crowning Trinidad Chambliss a little too soon. He hasn't seen any pressure yet. He's been excellent, but he hasn't seen any pressure yet. LSU's coming. That pass rush is real. This defense, like, these numbers are nuts. So he played a couple games, and his numbers look excellent. I think the LSU pass rush is going to be a real test here, and I think LSU's defense is going to win those battles. I think we're going to see him struggle for the first time. And on the other side, look, I'm not going to be mad at an under either, because LSU's offense has been underwhelming. I really don't know what to do with this data, because part of me is like, oh, just ignore those 3 games, man. It's Brian Kelly, it's LSU. They're going to put up a big number. Like, well, we always count on that offense. But it's kind of concerning that the first 3 games of the season, the offense didn't look, 20 points per game. These numbers aren't good for LSU offense, and it's going to take more than one good game against Southeast Louisiana for me to be like, oh, we're good here offensively.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't think Ole Miss defense is very good. This defense lost all their own NFL players on the front 7 from last year. Their numbers against the run look terrible. So I don't, as much as I don't trust the LSU offense, I don't trust the Ole Miss defense at all. So I think I'm getting the much better team here. But again, this is pretty coin flippy on the road in Oxford. LSU's lost twice in a row here. In fact, the last time we saw LSU come to this building, we saw the most wild football game. You guys remember that? Jaden Daniels against Jackson Dart. Like, the most wild football game we've seen in recent history. The final score was 55-49. Absolute shootout. But yeah, LSU.
The past two games have been insane, because the one last year in Baton Rouge was nuts that they came back and won.
Yeah. So LSU 7-2 in their last 9 games against Ole Miss, but the 2 losses are their last 2 trips to Oxford. So yeah, I'm on LSU, but this is just like, I'm doing some gambling. This is a coin flip game. Kyle, who are you with? Break the tie.
I can't break the tie here, Kyle. I'm sorry. This is the first time I've come on your show, and I have no idea what to bet in this game. I want to watch this game. I don't want to bet this game. Tempo war, LSU 118th. Ole Miss is 8th. I mean, almost identical strength of schedule. Their EPA margin's almost exactly the same. What's to separate these 2 teams? I mean, I don't know. I mean, Kiffin says Austin Simmons is a starter when he's 100% healthy. I mean, Chambliss is so good. It'd be really hard to take Chambliss out. I certainly wouldn't want to do it. LSU's biggest improvement is cutting down the explosive plays this year. The secondary has been really good, where the last couple of years they were giving up a lot of big plays. 15th in explosiveness allowed so far this year. I'm just going to say, I'll keep it quick on this one, Kyle. I think this is the first time that I've done this, and I don't even have a lean on this game. So there's tons of games on the board. This is my least favorite one we're talking about to bet, but I want to watch it.
I agree that this is a really tough one to take a position. When I first, the more I looked into it, the more I was like, I don't know if I should have fired on LSU. I still, my pick is still LSU, but I don't know if I would have necessarily bet it. I bet it right away, thinking they were going to close as short favorites. And then the more I look at it, the more I saw the case for Ole Miss. We've now moved on. Tennessee, Mississippi State, and I kind of copy your sentiment from the last one here, Kyle. Opened up at 9.5. Everyone jumped on Mississippi State early. And I think I would still, I'll put Mississippi State up, but honestly, I'm all ears here. If you guys want to talk about this game, I don't really, I'm not a Joey Aguilar guy, but like, who am I to argue with? It looks pretty good so far. So maybe I'm wrong. I can't unsee what he did at App State last year. It was a really disappointing season. So I can't just unsee that, but he looks really good. So it's only Mississippi State. This team, that place is going to be going bananas. What do you think, Jace?
I'm definitely not as confident as I was earlier in the week when I first had picked Mississippi State, because I'm still taking them 7.5. I'm speaking purely from PTSD of playing in Starkville and hearing those cowbells. I had to play at a night game, 11 a.m. It'll be a little easier, but it's also that snooze opportunity where it's like, is the team going to come in with their piss hot? Are they going to be fired up for this? You would assume. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I'm pretty sure Josh Heupel's road record at Tennessee is like 9-8 or 8-9. It's one of those. It's like, it's pretty 50-50. And so this being their first true road game, I know they played the neutral game against Syracuse in Atlanta. I think that's just something people should take into consideration. I think Mississippi State's offense is going to be, they're going to move the ball. I don't think like Georgia did, where it was they put up 35, 38. I mean, they're going to have to put that much up to win if they want to, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. I'm starting to get scared where I think this could be a game where Tennessee comes out and it's like 21-0 in the first quarter. They return a kickoff for a touchdown, and then it's just like Mississippi State's just trying to dig themselves out of a hole the rest of the game, and we're praying for a backdoor cover. But yeah, essentially I think that if everything goes how I want, I think Sharpen, however you pronounce the quarterback's name for Mississippi State, I think they're going to have a good game plan, and they're going to try to maintain the ball as much as possible. They keep it out of Tennessee's offense hands. And again, I'm not sold on Joey Aguilar either, so I definitely think it's a very reasonable cover for Mississippi State.
Kyle, Stark Vegas with us?
I'm taking Mississippi State here. I do like this one. I think, I saw too much from Aguilar playing on the road with App State that I have to fade him in this first game with the cowbells going crazy. Mississippi State too, guys. Remember last year they were pretty weak in the trenches. They've really improved a lot on the lines. This is a team that has been really balanced offensively. 28th best in the country in PPA per pass, 24th per rush. Tennessee's 120th in stuff rate, 98th in rushing play success rate allowed, 94th in QBR allowed. So I don't think Tennessee's defense is good enough to just stop Mississippi State consistently. Now, of course, Tennessee is going to score plenty of points. The total 63 for a reason. They're both playing top 10 in tempo. But Mississippi State 8th in coverage grade at PFF, really surprisingly solid in the secondary. I feel like this is that game where it's close, and at some point Aguilar makes that really, really bad pick, pick six, or they're close to scoring, he throws a pick. I've seen too many bad decisions from him to not fade him here in this situation. If he proves it here, then good for him. But this is one where I like the bet enough that afterwards, if it lost, I still think that was the right move to make. Tennessee's given up a touchdown on 77% of opponents' drives into the red zone. I think that's a really big concern when you can't bow up there in the red zone and force a team to a field goal or turn it over. Mississippi State has scored a touchdown on 81% of their trips into the red zone. So I think when they get down there, they're going to be getting 7. I like Mississippi State plus 7.5, and I'm going to sprinkle on the money line too.
Maybe I'll bet that. Last game up. What a game. Alabama, Georgia, man. I'm going to place a bet on the game, but 3 sounds about right to me. It would, I mean, what's Alabama? What are they? 9-1 in their last 10 against Georgia, right? 8-1. I'll put Alabama a 3 up. I don't know how you can place a bet on this game definitively and be like, oh yeah, I've got an edge here. 3 sounds about right. But I'm all ears. Kyle, biggest game of the day, Alabama, Georgia.
I mean, we got lots of big games that day. I kind of hate that they put it and Oregon and Penn State at the exact same time. I mean, of course, we can get multiple screens and get them up there, but I'd love to be able to focus more on one of those games just because they're both such massive games. I don't know what to take on a side here, Kyle. I mean, what am we supposed to do? Am I going to fade the fact that Georgia has won 33 straight games at home? I'm not anxious to do that. However, I do think Alabama's better than people think at this point. Ty Simpson's looked really good the last couple games. And I know somebody's going to say, yeah, it was UL Monroe and Wisconsin. But Simpson went in that tough situation. We already talked about that earlier at Tallahassee. He didn't look very good there, but he has good weapons around him. I kind of think Simpson's going to have a good season overall. And, what's he going to do in this game exactly? I don't know, but Georgia's 113th in passing rate success allowed. Tennessee, we remember those deep bombs that they put up against Georgia. I mean, I think Alabama's going to have some success going deep, hitting some big plays. Stockton, I think he played well against Tennessee. The one thing that kind of stands out to me about Stockton is his average depth of target is 5.5 yards so far. You're going to have to take some shots down the field at some point, and I think it's probably going to be in this game if they want to win. These two teams have played 6 straight games where there's been at least 51 points in it, with a total sitting at 52 or 52 and a half. I'm a little concerned about the lack of explosives that both offenses have had so far this year, but the only way I can bet this game is over the total. I think that both teams will have success offensively. And is it going to be shocking if this game goes to overtime? I don't think it would be. I mean, this should be a really tight game. I'll take the over here.
Yeah, on the left side of the screen says 55. That's incorrect. It's 52 and a half or 53 right now for the total. Yeah, I mean, DeBoer didn't have problems scoring points on Georgia last year. What was Alabama was up like 28-0 or something, and then Georgia ended up going. That was a wild game. But yeah, DeBoer wasn't having problems moving the ball last year on him, and that was with Milroe, who wasn't even like his quarterback. He kind of adopted Milroe as a quarterback. I agree with what you said about Ty Simpson. I think he passes the eye test, and I think judging a quarterback by their first start in an environment like that is just not an accurate way to go about things. And yeah, maybe not the toughest competition, but he passes the eye test. He throws a good ball. So yeah, I when I was originally asked about this game, I said under a field goal, you got to go Georgia, I guess. But I don't know. I'm putting Alabama up, but I have no idea. Jace?
I definitely feel better after hearing you guys, because I thought I was going to be the lone wolf on Alabama, just in the sense of I don't think these are the traditional Alabama-Georgia teams where it's like defensive minded. We don't got a lot of – there's no Jalen Carter's playing for Georgia this year, anything like that. And so my favorite bet in this game would be the over for sure. And both of what you were saying about Ty Simpson, I looked up a stat. He's 41 of 46 in his last 2 games. Granted, the competition hasn't been great, but 5 incompletions over 2 games, 600 yards, 8 touchdowns, no turnovers. I don't care who any quarterback can do that against anybody, and that's going to be a great stat to have. The one thing that scares me, I keep talking about third downs, is Bama's defense is ranked like 121 overall. I think there's only like 132 teams, so not the best on third downs right now. However, I do think this game is going to come down to penalties and who can be more disciplined. Bama is 91st in penalties as opposed to Georgia. They're 4th in the nation when it comes to penalties per game. And so the discipline thing is there. And how we were judging Florida State, not giving them too much credit for their win against Bama being the first game and all that, I think that should also apply to Alabama in the sense of they did get their ass kicked. They were caught off guard. They weren't ready. But, I mean, Wisconsin's awful, but they looked good against Wisconsin, and then the other 2 teams they've played since then. And I think this is a good spot for Alabama. I'm not saying that they're going to beat Kirby Smart at home because, like I said, that's just crazy talk. But I definitely think that's how they cover, is because the game goes to overtime and it's a 2-point game.
Yeah, So I wanted to push back on one thing you guys had said about Alabama's last couple games and Ty Simpson against weak competition. Wisconsin defensively is not weak. That's a strong defense. And Alabama was actually struggling to run the ball in that game. I think Wisconsin might have like a top 25, top 30 defense. I think that defense is really good. The offense is next level terrible. But I mean, Ty Simpson was 24-29, 382 yards and 4 touchdowns against that Wisconsin defense at home in Tuscaloosa. But I wouldn't call that a weak data point because Wisconsin's defense I trust. Their offense probably belongs in Conference USA.
and Georgia's secondary is very suspect. And I like Ryan. I think Ryan Williams is going to have a crazy game Saturday.
Yeah, that was impressive. That one step back touchdown he scored where he caught it and like step back towards that was sick. All right, Kyle, where can the folks find your stuff?
HunterSportsPicks.com is the site. You can sign up for the free picks newsletter over there. At Kyle Hunter Picks on Twitter. Do the Bet US show throughout the week. That's always a lot of fun. And then the spaces on Friday night on X. Those are fun as well to close out the week. So plenty of ways to follow me.
Yep, that's his Twitter handle right on the screen there. And the Bet US show he does is with Step on a Duck, who's on tomorrow night. So they're on together on that one. So Jace, where can they find you?
Yes, sir. Follow me on Twitter. I'm starting to do more and more. I actually tuned into my first space of Kyle. That I actually enjoyed it. That's good stuff. Listening to everybody. Quick little thing before I go. People need to start paying attention to this because I don't know what happened week 1 or week 2, but the past 2 weeks, the NBC Peacock primetime game, there has been a blocked punt for a touchdown. Happened A&M and Auburn, or A&M Notre Dame. Then it just happened last week with Indiana, Illinois. If Penn State, Oregon, if there's a special teams touchdown, there's something to do with that night slate. I just want that to be on the record that I've been watching that.
So if we were looking out for a block punt or a block field goal touchdown in the Peacock game between Penn State and Oregon.
Yeah, if there's a prop for that, go ahead and sprinkle some of that because the past 2 weeks you'd be killing it.
All right. Peacock game, Penn State, Oregon, looking out for a block punt or block field goal touchdown. I got to say, you'll definitely get some likes on a tweet now after saying that on YouTube. People will be looking out. Guarantee you people will bet that shit.
I wanted to because I watched it firsthand. Like I said, I was on the right side. I've been on the losing side twice. Notre Dame blocked it against A&M, and then I had Illinois last week, and Indiana blocked it. So it's like whoever I bet, I'm afraid that's what's going to happen.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on, man. Have a good night. Talk to everyone later. Yo, what's up? So thanks for watching. So I'm not going to do a video for tomorrow night's game, but I am on Army. I got a 3.5. It got bought up to 5.5. So it looks like some early ECU money came in. Not really sure. So I know ECU's defense looks really strong, and they also usually play really strong defense at home too. I'm not necessarily doubting that, but we did see BYU wear that defense down a little bit. They stood strong in the first quarter, and then we started to see BYU wear them down a little bit in the third quarter there. Army has really impressed me. I thought this Army team was going to be terrible this year. They went on the road to beat Kansas State, and the defense played great. Held Kansas State to 4.1 yards per carry, 33% success rate per rush. They played a great defensive game on the road to Manhattan against Kansas State. And as I've said about ECU many times, this is an offense that just goes nuts against really bad defenses like Tulsa last year, North Texas last year, FAU last year. They go nuts against really bad defenses, but when they see a decent team, they don't look good at all. And I don't think Hauser's ever had a great game against a good defense. So this Army defense looks way stronger than I expected to be. I don't know how you lay more than a field goal. I'm on Army to keep it close. So that's what I'm on this one. Everyone, I uploaded a video. Hold on. So if you want to hear me talk about Seahawks Cardinals, it's right here. And at the end, I ramble on. If you want to hear me nerd out about efficient markets at the end, I talk for like 15 minutes. Somebody was asking a couple weeks back about efficient markets. So if you're interested in hearing me ramble and nerd out hard, you'll enjoy the last 15 minutes of that. But yeah, that's Seahawks Cardinals Thursday Night Football. Everyone, thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow. Talk to you later.